How old were you? 2, maybe 3 or 4 years old? Try to remember the first time you bugged your mom or dad for a quarter for the Gumball machine. I remember there was a big rack of them over at the department store next to the grocery store. Not only did they have gumballs, but they had the cool baseball helmets and tattoos. I'd go and bug my mom for a quarter, and if I was lucky, my dad was there too, and I could hit him up for a quarter. There were all kinds of great prizes, even then, 30-odd years ago. From candy to mini cameras to Super Balls, a quarter could get them all, 1 quarter at a time. I was amazed at the fact that these machines contained all these prizes, and I wondered what it'd be like to have one of them at my house for all my friends to use. I don't think I really noticed candy vending machines again until about maybe 15, 20 years later. I was working as a bartender in upstate New York, and there was a candy machine at the end of the bar that had red pistachios in it. Every Friday and Saturday night, the kitchen would close about 9:30, but the bar would stay open until about 4:30 in the morning. By 11 or 12, there'd be a line in front of the machine. People would fill up a beer mug with these pistachios and snack on them, and they were so popular that they'd have to refill the machine every week. The pistachio guy would come in once a week and fill it up and empty out the quarters. I remember once he must have had about $60 to $70 worth of quarters that he counted out at the end of the bar. It bugged me because I knew that there must be an incredible profit margin. Currently, you can buy a bag of pistachios for $6.99 that would fill up a machine like that. About another 15 years went by, and I researched everything from payphones to breath analysis machines to cigarette lighter machines. I was about to invest a large amount of money into payphones when I decided to call one last reference. I called on a gentleman in Alabama who had bought over 50 payphones the year before. He told me not to do it. Well, if you're a stubborn New Yorker like me, you don't change your mind very quickly, especially when you're convinced that you're making the right decision. This man was also pretty convincing. He told me he had already sold the business at a loss and had reinvested his money in gumball machines. And the biggest surprise to him was this. In 6 months, he made everything back that he had invested. Now, I gotta be honest with you. The thought of having a bunch of gumball machines didn't really thrill me at first. I thought that payphones would have less maintenance, and I really wasn't thrilled about the prospect of having any inventory. But luckily for me, he explained the math to me. It cost him about 2 to 3 cents for a gumball, and he sold them for a quarter. Each of his locations averaged about $20 profit every month, and he had a couple of hundred locations. He only worked about 6 days a month, and the rest of the time he could spend on fishing, which was his first real love. Well, my first love was music. I had been in quite a few bands since I was a kid, and it was something I enjoyed doing since I was about 13 years old. Well, something happens to musicians when they get older, though. Their wives want them to get real jobs. I spent years working in the credit business, the finance and marketing businesses, but I never stopped dreaming about having the freedom to play music whenever I wanted to. So I'd been on a never-ending quest to find that perfect home business that could give me the solid income that my wife required, as well as the freedom for me to play music. Now, if you're like me, you've tried lots of different business opportunities. Whether it's buying real estate with little or no money down, or mail order, many of us tried a lot of different things for that opportunity to give us the freedom that we need. This is it. Throw away all your other courses. According to SBA statistics, vending machines are ranked in the top 10% of profit-making businesses, with profits increasing steadily since the early 1940s. Statistics have shown that 70% of vending owner-operators start off on a part-time basis, keeping a full-time job, and checking their machines and servicing them after work or on the weekends. This allows their money to work for them while they keep their present jobs. 85% of them will turn to full-time vending after just 1 year. Here's some facts about vending you need to know. Vending has one of the highest profit margins of any retail business. Bulk vending has one of the lowest startup investment requirements of any new business. Vendors can work right out of their own home. The vending business has an unbelievable return on investment. There are no franchise fees, partnership fees, or royalties. Vending is the perfect family business. Vending is simple. When placed correctly, machines can be paid for in a matter of weeks, not years like in most other businesses. You can get started with your vending business for under $100. The cash flow comes in immediately, the same day the machine is placed. As I said before, vending is the perfect family business. It can pay for college, private school. It's possible for you to replace your income working only a few days a month. Your business can grow while you're working on your present job and can keep on growing until you have enough machines so that you can retire. The first vending machine was invented by Richard Carlisle. He He was an English publisher and bookshop owner. It was invented for selling books. Until 1926, vending machines were pretty much restricted to selling penny candy. In 1926, a man by the name of William Rowe invented the cigarette machine. In the 20s and 30s, soft drink and nickel candy machines started filling the streets. Nowadays, vending's dominated by over 8,000 independent operators. There are over 5 million vending machines that generate over $27 billion in sales each year. You've chosen an opportunity that has a very high rate of success if you follow a successful blueprint. We started our vending business with one little gumball machine. That machine grew to over 400 in a little less than a year and a half. Now, there are quite a few different types of machines and a lot of information that we're going to be covering. But let's start with the basics. The biggest benefit, in my opinion, for the vending business is leverage. Here you have the mechanical machine that does nothing but collect profit for you while you do something else. These machines cost as little as $40 a piece. Sometimes you open the machine and you find $40 or more inside the machine. That money can now buy you yet another machine. And all you've done is driven over to the location, walked over the machine, and opened it up. You can see why vending appeals to entrepreneurs like yourself. But why doesn't everybody get involved in vending? For one, they don't understand it. They don't understand how much money can be made. They don't understand how simple it is to get started. And they don't understand that an incredible opportunity is staring them right in the face. Think about this. Sometime today, most of you are going to take one of your hands, dig into one of your pockets, and head down to where the Coke machines are, or the candy machines, and get yourself a Diet Coke, or a 7-Up, or a Snickers bar, or a bag of chips, without even thinking about it. And most of you will do this at least once a day. Somewhere in your town, there's a vending operator who's kicked up his heels and he's watching TV, and he's just made a buck or two and doesn't even know about it yet. The Vending Jackpot is your step-by-step guide into this incredible business. Listen to all the tapes and get started. You'll be kicking up your feet in no time. What else has been sold in vending machines? Well, there's live beetles, artwork, pajamas, underwear, dried squid, steaks, sacks of rice, batteries, as well as software, business cards, and pearl necklaces. In 1989, you could buy Levi's jeans from vending machines in central Paris. The machine had a seatbelt that you strapped around your waist to determine your size. Some important considerations before you start any business. Number one, how can I support my family while I build up my business? This question must be worked out according to each individual's circumstances. Many people start out on a part-time basis after their regular jobs to see how much they can handle. Then when their incomes reach a certain level, they'll switch over and go full-time. My advice, buy a couple of machines, get started, learn the business. Use the proceeds from those machines to grow your business. Next, what are my abilities? To determine what your abilities are, you have to take an inventory of yourself. Decide what you enjoy doing the most and what you feel you'd be good at. Examine every possibility and include every skill you have, no matter how slight. If you have hobbies, understand that if you build this business, you're going to have more time to do the things that you really enjoy. Next, is there a market out there for the products and services that I've chosen? All the time you're going to see opportunity firms that are trying to prey on people by offering machines that offer a product that not many people want. The products that we're going to be discussing in the Vending Jackpot are very familiar to you and your customers. Next, how long will it take for the business to reach the financial goal that I have? It's really a question of knowing how much time you can dedicate to your business and what your profits are for that time. From there, a little simple addition will tell you how long it's going to take you before you reach your goals. Remember, there's a very high profit margin that we're going to be talking about here. However, it's very important that you don't forget that this is a business. This isn't just money on the street that you're going to be picking up. You're going to have to account for it. We'll get into that a little bit later. What's your dream? What do you want to do? I ran across a guy that was 36 years old, was a full-time student at UNCC. He was married with 3 kids. How did he do it? Well, he figured out that bulk candy vending would give him the same income that he was making at his old nowhere job, and the time flexibility that he needed to go back and finish his degree. His teenage son now inherits the business from him, and the household is making twice the money that it was before. Whenever I go to service a machine, or whenever somebody out there knows that I own a vending business, I'm hammered with questions. Is there any money in this? How do you get started with this? How do you get locations? Well, let's start answering some of these questions.
A blonde and a redhead went to the bar after work for a drink and sat on stools watching the 6 o'clock news. A man was shown threatening to jump from the Brooklyn Bridge, and the blonde bet the redhead $50 that he wouldn't jump. Sure enough, he jumped, so the blonde gave the redhead $50. The redhead said, I can't take this, you're my friend. But the blonde insisted, saying, no, a bet's a bet. Then the redhead said, listen, I have to tell you that I saw this on the 5 o'clock news, so you can take your money. The blonde replied, well, so did I, but I didn't think he would jump again.
There are a lot of ripoffs in the vending business. Probably the biggest one is the vending business opportunity section of your newspaper. Here you're going to find ads that say something like vending business for sale, high profits, local territories, then followed by a 1-800 number. Another one may say something like unbelievable vending profits, turnkey locations, national brands, followed by another 800 number. A general rule of thumb is this: if there's an 800 number, it's not a local business. It's a vending marketing firm. The problem with vending marketing firms is simple. They take machines that are lower quality machines, mark them up about 3 times what they're worth, package them, and finance them with an incredible markup on the financing. Then they unleash their best telemarketers to sell you on what a great opportunity the vending business is. Now, the vending business is a fantastic opportunity, but not this way. Chances are pretty good you'll lose your shirt. Reason number 1. They'll sell the machines in packages. Packages of 10 machines, 50 machines, 100 machines, or whatever investment they think that they can get from you. They'll give you the expected earnings of the package as part of the sales presentation. They'll take an example of a good month in a good location and then multiply that by however many machines are in the package that you're looking at. That's not always an accurate description of realistic expectations for your business using machines that they're giving you. Reason number 2. Many times, these are manufacturers of machines that are essentially specialty machines. These machines generally will not draw what they say that they're going to draw. For example, a popular machine over the past few years is the mint machines that sell peppermint patties. These machines, though they look nice and all, may bring up a few concerns for you. Number 1, peppermint patties are expensive to restock. Number 2, they don't stay fresh very long. Number 3, they're usually not stocked in warehouse clubs, which means you're going to have inventory concerns, and when you need to restock a machine, you may not be able to get it right away. Number 4, when was the last time you had a peppermint patty? When was the last time you had a piece of gum? Gum usually wins that argument. A recent favorite of the vending marketers is the big flamboyant mega gumball machine. This can be either a huge gumball machine that looks like it's about 4 feet wide that holds a carload of gumballs, or it may be one that's more mechanical, that makes the gumball go through an obstacle course before it's delivered. Now, in a perfect world, these machines potentially could be fine. If they were in the perfect location, if they were in perfect working order, and if you had the perfect working situation with the location manager. But with the mechanical machine, if it's broken, who's going to fix it? Many of these machines don't fit in a car, and these machines are very expensive. With the huge machines, again, they're too big to fit in a car. Next, they hold a ton of gumballs. It may be months or years for a gumball to work its way down from the top. Then you're dealing with some of the candy being stale. When you service the machine, all you do is add more candy, so all the gumballs look the same. So you really don't know which ones are bad and which ones are good. Say the manager of the place comes up to you and says, customers are complaining that the gumballs are stale. What can you do? You have to replace all of the gumballs, which wipes out a ton of your profit. Next is payphones. Now, I thought payphones were going to be a gold mine, but if you look closely, payphone operators are dying now. They're hurting. With the growth of cellular phones and discount calling plans and calling cards, where's the money? On top of that, you have to pay a professional locating company, because they're very difficult to place, a significant installation fee, a monthly line charge, as well as a phone bill. Now, if you're the owner of a restaurant or a bar, maybe this isn't a bad idea, but why bother? There are easier ways to make money in vending. Why beat your head against a wall? The Federal Trade Commission has gone after quite a few of these vending marketing firms. According to the Federal Trade Commission, consumers can take steps to make sure that the business opportunity or vending company they're pursuing isn't going to cheat them out of their money. Here's how. Get all their earnings claims in writing. Be sure the information includes the number and percentage of recent or current clients who have earned at least as much as the promoter claims. If the company hesitates or refuses to give the information in writing, find another business opportunity. Interview references provided by the vending marketing firm. The FTC requires business opportunity promoters to give potential purchasers the names, addresses, and phone numbers of at least 10 prior purchasers. Try to talk to each one. Ask about the machines. Ask about the service. How are the machines holding up? Contact the Attorney General's office, state or county consumer protection agency, and the Better Business Bureau in the area where the vending marketing firm is based and where you live. Ask if there's a history of unresolved complaints. Remember, a complaint record may indicate questionable business practices, but a lack of a complaint doesn't necessarily mean the promoter and the business opportunity are without any problems. Unscrupulous dealers often change names and locations to hide a history of complaint. Don't buy into any hype. Use your head. Vending could be a very profitable business, and you can start on a shoestring. Finding your own locations is 90% of your battle. Shop around for machines, both new and used. The most successful people in this business generally don't buy machines at opportunity shows. They buy them direct. You can buy machines directly from the manufacturer for a fraction of what these firms charge. You can even buy machines for as little as $40 a piece. Since we do know that these firms exist, we investigated one of these for the course. Recently, we went to a vending opportunity show here in Charlotte. In the book, we go through step by step what they tried to sell us. To summarize, everything started about 2 weeks before the show actually happened. I'm on an entrepreneurial mailing list, so whenever one of these companies is looking for new customers, I'll get a direct mail solicitation. These folks sent me a letter that was promising wealth and freedom, and heck, who can resist that? The letter claimed that there was an informational seminar at the Hilton, and that this fine vending manufacturer was going to select a few lucky people to operate their machines in this area. To invite me to participate, they gave me a $1,495 rebate check. As we signed in, I could see that they were dividing us into about 5 different groups. They gave us each a packet of information about the vending industry. Each group was then assigned to a different counselor, which essentially was a salesperson, and that salesperson sat us down and explained that the presentation was broken down into 2 different parts. The first part was just a general overview about the vending industry. There'd be about a 10-minute break, and then they would come back and give us more information about the opportunity, and then they'd take some of our applications and decide which one of us may be lucky enough to become part of their team. He introduced me to the people all around me in my row and some of the sales managers and some of the other staff around there, and how we look forward to talking to us a little bit later on. The main points that they brought out in the initial presentation was that snack vending was the smartest business move that they could possibly make, that using their opportunity there was virtually no overhead, and that large machines and bulk machines were no good. The best line I heard all day was, snack and soda vending machines were not available to small businesses until now. Like they invented this concept. Well, I knew that their machines weren't going to be cheap because of the presentation that they had put on, but I had no idea what I was in for. There were 4 different programs that I could choose from. There was the bronze program, the silver program, the gold program, and the platinum program. The bronze was their starter program. You got a whopping 4 snack machines, 2 drink machines, and $2 bill changers for $15,285. Next was their silver program. You got 6 snack machines, 3 drink machines, and $3 bill changers for $21,267. Still not enough for you? Well, then there was the gold program, which was 8 snack machines, 4 drink machines, and $4 bill changers for $26,790. Finally, for all of the people who were serious about their new business venture, they could move on up to the platinum program, which included a whopping 10 snack machines, 5 drink machines, and $5 bill changers for only $31,855. This is craziness. But wait, it gets better. If you're worried about theft or vandalism, you don't need to be. They have a great replacement policy. If something happens to one of your machines, just pay the small deductible, they'll rush another machine out within a week. To make us feel even better about the policy, the salesman stressed that in the company's history, with over 4,000 operators, there's only been 3 to 4 claims. He forgot to mention that the deductible was $500 to $800 per machine, which is close to 1.5 times the cost of comparable machines. If you want references, they have them. A couple of stipulations though. First, only addresses were given. No phone numbers were given. Only phone numbers would be given to those who are financially qualified to move forward.
A blonde goes to a soda machine. She puts in $1 and gets a soda. She does this again and again. A man in line behind her asks why she's taking so long. She says, "Can't you see I'm winning?"
How to get your vending machines for pennies on the dollar. If you scan the business opportunity section of your local newspaper, you're going to see a bunch of vending machine packages. Many of these will be overpriced and many will also be lower quality machines. First of all, understand you don't have to buy vending machines at retail. You can buy vending machines directly from wholesalers and manufacturers, and they can deliver them right to your door through UPS or through freight. But that's just part of it. Vending is the type of business that people in the past have run into blindly. Maybe they went to a business opportunity seminar and bought 50 machines. Maybe they bought them from one of those ads in the newspaper. Most likely, 9 chances out of 10, they never learned how to locate their machines. And now they have a bunch of brand new vending machines sitting in their garage gathering dust. This is where you can pick up machines for pennies on the dollar. Let me give you an example that happened to me. A businessman placed an ad in the Charlotte Observer advertising 20 Gumball machines for sale for $3,000. I call him up, and he said that the machines were only 3 months old. They were out on location, but within a couple of months, some of the locations didn't work out. He didn't have enough time to service and locate the machines, and his job was sending him to another state in a few months, and he may be relocating there for good. So I stopped by his house, took a look at the machines, and I could see that 12 of them were standing around in his garage. The other 8 were still on location, and they were doing pretty good. He also said that he had 8 boxes of candy that he would throw in if I bought all of the machines. Even though this wasn't the worst deal in the world, it's far from the best. I nodded my head and took notes and smiled and told him that there was some interest in his machines, but I had some other options that I was looking at, and I'd have to make some phone calls, and I'd get back to him the next day with my decision. I could see a little bit of hope in his eyes. He really wanted to sell these machines. So I go home, I hit the phones. Within 4 hours, I secured 14 new locations. I figured even if I didn't buy his machines, I was going to need these locations somewhere down the road. Now, the machines he was selling were a popular plastic 3 selection model that came from one of those newspaper ads. When this particular company sells their routes, they also sell a good stock of candy to get their machines started. So right out of the gate, I had an idea that the candy was at least 3 months old. So that wasn't really a good selling point to give me. I called back the guy. I told him even though I did like his machines, I didn't feel that I could offer him what he was asking for them. I also explained that when I expand my business, I use a factor. My factor is I anticipate $12 per location. I also expect that $12 to be mostly profit, which I can get best from a single Gumball machine. I can buy a single Gumball machine for as little as $45 a piece, sometimes even less. You screw it onto a pipe stand and fill it up with Gumballs for about $70. If I bought his machines, I would be buying 20 locations for $3,000. For the same amount of money, I could be buying 42, doing it my way, and I'd be making more profit. Now, I could hear from the guy's voice that he really needs to sell these machines. I told him, listen, Jim, I like the machines a lot. I really think I could use them. I just don't know if I can offer you what you're looking for them. As far as the candy goes, it's at least 3 months old. I don't even know if I can use any of it. Well, he turns around and said, well, what can you offer? I gave a long pause. I said, listen, like I said before, I usually pay about $70 per location. Your machines are a little bit larger, so I could probably go about 80, which would make 20 locations $1,600. I realize this is far less money than what you asked for, and I understand if you'd rather wait for your price. But if you're interested, I can have the cash in your hands this evening, and I can clear the machines out of your garage when I stop by. He paged me back within about a half hour and told me that he'd be back home by 6. I picked the machines up, he even threw in the candy, which was still good, by the way. Now, some may be thinking that's taking advantage of the situation. I don't look at it that way. He could have easily said no. But there's one thing I'm sure of, is that every other person that was kicking around buying his machine were probably scared off by the fact that they were going to have to locate 12 of them, and they didn't know how to do it. I did. As a matter of fact, I had already located them before I paid for them. This turned out to be a win-win situation for both of us. Sure, he didn't get the money that he wanted out of the route, but he also didn't take the time to learn how to run his business the right way. If he had done his homework, he would have realized that he could have sold the 8 machines that were out on location for more than what he sold all 20 for. I looked at my existing locations, and locations where I felt that I could profit by adding more selections. I started incorporating some of these new machines. If I had a location where I had a single-headed machine where people were asking for some multiple selections, I would put in one of the new machines and take the single-headed machine out to one of the new locations that I had telemarketed before I bought the machine. Within 3 days, all the machines had new homes. His garage was now empty. He had a couple of bucks in his pocket, and I'm scanning the newspaper for new opportunities. Want a fantastic way to pick up machines for even less? Look on eBay. I looked on eBay this evening. There were over 30 machines available for auction within the next 4 days. These are probably people that bought machines new and never learned how to locate them. They're probably in great shape and potentially an excellent opportunity. Go to www.ebay.com. That's ebay.com. There are great auction sites all over the World Wide Web. Just look in any search engine. Let's talk a little bit about vending products. To me, 850 count gumballs is a good way to go. It's a profitable way to go. A case of 850 count gumballs is currently about $15 to $16. You sell them each for about a quarter. You end up paying 2 to 3 cents per gumball. You also profit 22 to 23 cents per gumball. People buy them and they look nice in a machine. There are other bulk products, and they're sold by the pound. There's Boston baked beans, there's chickle tabs, there's gourmet mints, hot tamales, M&M peanuts and M&M plain, Reese's Pieces, Mike and Ike's, Runts, Sprees, Skittles, cashews, and pistachios. There are also a bunch of other different products that are available to you. You can make money on these other products as well. I would put double machines out. I'd put gumballs on one side and rotate the other products on the other. I would set the machines so that they would vend the following: Boston baked beans, 18 pieces; chickle tabs, 12; gourmet mints, 8; hot tamales, 8; M&M peanuts, 12; M&M plain, 18; Mike and Ike's, 11; Reese's Pieces, 18; Runts, 16; Skittles, 16; cashews, 18; pistachios, 10. Now don't be cheap. If somebody puts a quarter into your vending machine to get some M&M peanuts and they only get 2 or 3, they're going to be upset and they're never going to buy M&M peanuts from you again. This is why I like the gumballs. You make a nice profit and you only sell them 1. But don't think you can't make money from M&M peanuts and some of these other products. I had a location where they would play poker with the M&M peanuts. What they would do is, at that time I had the machine set for 7 or 8 pieces for a quarter. And what they would do is each time they spun it around, that was their hand. They'd get 7 or 8 pieces, and I think the green ones were aces, the yellow ones were queens, the red ones were jacks, and I don't know what the specifics were, but many times I go back and the M&M peanuts would be empty, so I know what they were doing during their office hours. The amount of vend is adjustable. If you want to give them a little more bang for the buck, you can adjust it very easily. All you need is a Phillips head screwdriver in most cases. It's usually just a very simple adjustment. It takes about 2 minutes. The purpose of the vending jackpot is not to sell you machines. We don't sell machines. However, some of these folks do. Get some catalogs, take a look at some of their information. Some of them may even have websites as well. These companies are listed in your book, but for the benefit of those who don't have the book, here we go. There's A&A Global, which is formerly A&A Parkway. 2301 York Road, Timonium, which is Timonium, Maryland, 21093. Their 800 number is 800-638-6000. There's OK Manufacturing, 2340 South 900 West, Salt Lake City, Utah, 84119. Their number is 800-748-5480.